Good morning. Welcome to Medicare 360 Show. I'm Jennifer Lee, your host. Last week, we talked about the Medicare New Handbook, and we are on page 21 now. We're still on section 1, signing up for Medicare. So, how does other insurance work with Medicare? When you have other insurance like group health plans, or retiree health, or Medicaid coverage and Medicare, there are rules for whether Medicare or your other coverage pays first. So let's dive in. If you have retiree health coverage, like insurance from your or your spouse's former employment, Medicare does pay first. If you're 65 or older, have group health plan coverage based on you or your spouse's current employment, and the employer has 20 or more employees, your group health plan pays first. If you're 65 or older, have a group health plan coverage based on your or your spouse's current employment, and the employer has fewer than 20 employees, Medicare pays first. So that's why you definitely need to get on Medicare. If you're under 65 and have a disability, have group health plan coverage based on your or a family member's current employment, and the employer has 100 or more employees, your group health plan pays first. However, if you're under 65 and have a disability, have group health plan coverage based on you or your family's members' current employment, and the employer has fewer than 100 employees, Medicare pays first. If, let's see, if you're under 65, actually, no, we already talked about that. If you have group health plan coverage based on you or your family's members' employment or former employment, and you're eligible for Medicare because of end-stage renal disease, ESRD, your group health plan pays first for the first 30 months after you become eligible for Medicare, and then Medicare pays first after the 30-month period. That's a lot. So if you have TRICARE, that's if you're a veteran, Medicare pays first unless you're on active duty or get items or services from a military hospital or clinic or other federal healthcare provider. Okay, so it's a little bit different when you're using a like military hospital, military provider, federal healthcare provider versus outside that. If you have Medicaid, Medicare pays first. And if you do have Medicaid, I would make sure that your Medicaid is tied to your Medicare to make sure that your Medicaid is paying for your Medicare. Important, if you're still working and have employer coverage through work, contact your employer to find out how your employer's coverage works with Medicare. That's the biggest thing I do tell clients. If they are still working, it is always good to contact your HR and ask how your employer coverage works with the Medicare, even if it's your spouse that is on Medicare age, it also applies to them. So remember, the insurance that pays first is the primary payer, pays up to the limits of its coverage. The insurance that pays second, which is secondary payer, only pays if there are costs the primary payer didn't cover. The secondary payer, which may be Medicare, might not pay all the uncovered costs. If your group health plan or retiree health coverage is a secondary payer, you'll likely need to sign up for Part B before your insurance will pay. Visit medicare.gov/publications to review the booklet, How Medicare Works with Other Insurance, or call 1-800-MEDICARE to learn more. Okay, important. If your group health plan coverage ends, call 800-MEDICARE to update your record. If you have other changes to your insurance, you could also call Medicare's Benefits Coordination and Recovery Center. If you're retiring, call 800-MEDICARE to make sure your primary insurance information is correct. So this has been happening to my Medicare supplemental clients. What's been happening is they do get a Medicare supplement plan, such as a Plan G. For some reason, it doesn't want to pay because they're still seeing a record from, say, your group health plan that you have coverage. So that Medicare Benefit Coordination or Recovery Center is good to just let them know your coverage is ended, so they're not billing and everything goes smoothly. If you have Part A, you may get health coverage from Medicare. This form verifies that you had health coverage in the past year. Keep the form for your records. It's the 1095B. Not everyone will get this form. So if you don't get the form 1095B, don't worry. Even though you don't need it to file your taxes, you can request a copy from Medicare. Do I have to pay for Part A? You usually don't have to pay a monthly premium for Part A coverage if you or your spouse paid Medicare taxes while working for a certain amount of time. This is sometimes called premium-free Part A. If you aren't eligible for premium-free Part A, you may be able to buy it. For more information how to pay your Part A premium, go to page 24. If you buy Part A, you'll pay a premium of either $285 or up to $518 each month in 2025, depending on how long you or your spouse worked and paid Medicare taxes. So that's typically 10 years or 40 quarters. If you need help paying for your Part A premium, go pages 91 to 92. If you have questions about paying for Medicare Part A, visit medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE. In most cases, if you choose to buy Part A, you may also have Part B and pay monthly premiums for both. If you choose not to buy Part A, you could still buy Part B if you're eligible. What's the Part A late enrollment penalty? If you aren't eligible for premium-free Part A and you don't buy it when you're first eligible, your monthly premium may go up to 10%. And you'll have to pay the higher premium for twice the number of years you could have had Part A but didn't sign up. For example, if you're eligible for Part A for 2 years but didn't sign up, you may have to pay a 10% higher premium for 4 years. Okay. How much does Part B coverage cost? The standard Part B premium amount in 2025 is $185. Most people pay the standard premium Part B premium amount every month. Note on that, I've heard financial advisors tell their clients, oh, you shouldn't get that deducted from your Social Security or like your bank account. I highly suggest you do, just for the simple fact, if you forgot to make a payment, you're actually in the hospital and can't make that payment, you really do not want your Medicare to lapse and not have coverage. Okay, let's go back. If your modified adjustment gross income is above a certain amount in 2025, it's $106,000 if you file individually or $212,000 if you're married and filed jointly. You may pay an income-related income monthly adjustment amount, IRMA, is an extra charge added to your premium. So to determine if you'll pay the IRMA, Medicare uses the modified adjusted gross income reported to your IRS tax returns from 2 years ago. Visit medicare.gov to learn about IRMA. So keep in mind, these are like your 401ks. If you take out a distribution, if you move your 401k to a Roth IRA, you move your IRA to a Roth IRA. What else? You had a big lump sum when you retired. You got laid off and got us a lump sum. All that will count. So that's when the proper planning happens. As I would say, make sure your ducks in a row and you understand how that works. On a side note, I did meet a couple that said, you know what, like I actually sold all my stock 2 years ago. Or last year. So he's concerned with paying the highest premium because of his income. He's like, I am going out of the country for a year. Can I just cancel Medicare? Yes, you can, right? So you don't have to pay that large premium. However, when you do come back, since you didn't have credible coverage, you will have that penalty, 10% for that year and forever that you're paying that penalty. But I would say it's going to be an individual basis on what works for you, because it might be worth it for him just to cancel it out for 1 year. No, you also have to pay an extra amount for your Medicare drug coverage, Part D premium, if your modified adjusted gross income is above a certain amount. Go to page 82. If you have to pay an extra amount and you disagree, for example, your income is lower due to a life event, you could definitely go to ssi.gov/Medicare/lower-IRMA, IRMAA. So I have clients that actually ask for the exception. Don't really see a lot go through, but the biggest caveat that I've been seeing go through is when you sell your home. And then I had one client, she sold her home. They said, no, we're not going to help you waive that premium extra charge. But we also mentioned that she became a widow. So at that point, they said, okay, that makes sense. So we'll waive that penalty for you. Okay. So what is the Part B late enrollment penalty? So important. If you don't sign up for Part B when you're first eligible, you may have to pay a late enrollment penalty for as long as you have Part B. Your monthly Part B premium may go up 10% for each full 12 months in the period that you could have had Part B but didn't sign up. If you're allowed to sign up for Part B during the special enrollment period, you usually don't pay a late enrollment penalty. Go to pages 17 and 18. Example, Mr. Smith's initial enrollment period ended December 2021. He waited until March 2024 during the general enrollment period to sign up for Part B. His Part B premium penalty is 20% because that's what, 2022 and then 2023. So that's 2 times 10%. And he'll have to pay this penalty in addition to his standard Part B premium for as long as he has Part B. Even though Mr. Smith didn't have Part B for 27 months, this included only 2 full 12-month periods. Okay. So costs and coverage. To learn how to get help with Medicare costs, go to page 91. So how can I pay my Part B premium? If you get Social Security or Railroad Retirement Board benefits, RRB, your premium Part B will be deducted from your monthly benefit payment. Note, if you get a bill from RRB, mail your premium payments to the RRB Medicare premium payments in St. Louis. If you have questions about your bill, get call RRB. Okay, so we are at page 24. If you are a federal retiree with an annuity from the Office of Personnel Management and you aren't entitled to Social Security or RRB benefits, you can ask to have your Part B premiums deducted from your annuity. Contact your local Social Security office to make your request. ssa.gov/locator to find your local office. Keep in mind that you cannot just walk in. You do have to set up an appointment. So call Medicare, actually Social Security office. Sometimes I've been hearing 2, 3, 4, 5 hours waiting on the line. Sometimes they hang up on you. So good luck. If you don't get Social Security or RRB benefit payments, you'll get a bill for your Part B premium. Typically, Part B premiums are billed quarterly every 3 months. Sometimes I see the first one having 4 months, so don't be alarmed. If you also pay for Part A or Part D IRMA or use Medicare Easy Pay to pay your premiums, you'll get a monthly bill, page 23 and 82. There are 4 ways to pay your premium bill. Pay online through your secure Medicare account. Visit medicare.gov account/login to log in or create your Medicare account. Then select Pay My Premium to make a payment by credit card, debit card, health savings account card, or from your checking or savings account. You'll get a confirmation number when you make this payment. This service is free and the fastest way to pay your premium. This is pretty neat because a lot of my clients want to pay with their credit card to get some additional points. So that's a good one. Second way is through Medicare Easy Pay. The free service automatically deducts your payment from your savings or checking account each month. Visit medicare.gov/medicare-easy-pay or call 1-800-MEDICARE to find out how to sign up. So that's a great way. That's the automatic one, but it's just deducted from your checking account. The third way is through your bank. Contact your bank to set up a one-time or recurring payment from your checking or savings account. Not all banks offer this service and some charge a fee. Enter your information carefully to make sure your payments go through on time. Give the bank this information. Your 11-character Medicare number, enter the numbers and letters without dashes or extra characters or spaces. Payee name is CMS Medicare Insurance. Payee address is Medicare Premium Collection Center. The P.O. box is listed there in St. Louis and the amount of your payment. The fourth way is through the mail. You could pay by check, money order, credit card, and debit card or HSA card. Fill out the payment coupon at the bottom of your bill and include it with your payment. Payments made by mail take longer to process than payments made quickly and securely through your online Medicare account. Use a return envelope that came with your bill and mail your Medicare payment coupon and payment to Medicare Premium Collection Center. If you have questions about your premiums, you call 1-800-MEDICARE. If you need to change your address on your bill, you're going to contact or visit ssa.gov/mycontact. You may be able to get help from your state to pay your Part A and B premiums through the Medicare Savings Program. Go to pages 91 to 92. That's really your Medicaid. Sometimes it's not hooked up automatically, so I would make sure that it is, and you could apply for that. Okay, so we are on section 2, page 25. Find out what Medicare covers. Do we have time for this? Let's see. Let's talk about this next week. I have about maybe 4 to 5 minutes left. So what's the general landscape right now that I've been seeing? So I have been seeing successful effort when applying for Medicare at Part A and B really quick. I met a couple recently. His birthday was April 1st. So technically his Medicare can start March 1st. I would say it was like a week before March 1st, they created a user ID and password that went through because sometimes when you create it, there's no match and they give you an access code, but they were able to go just fine. I went to their home. I helped them apply for their Medicare Part A and B. He did not want to get Social Security yet, so you need to make sure that you're not pressing that button. And basically on the notes, we just said, please apply for Part A and B. So then once that happened, a couple days later, we did check. We as Medicare agents are able to check if your Medicare number came through. Sometimes because of snail mail, it does take longer for Social Security to send you the actual paper copy of your Medicare card, and we are able to check for you. A couple of days later, everything was great. Medicare A and B was effective March 1st. Make sure that when you're enrolled in a plan and have Medicare, that you are canceling your current coverage, just because why pay a double coverage, right? So some like want to pay double coverage, or they're just very, they feel like it's not secured or so forth, and they just want that 1 month. Your Medicare is effective that day. If you get the confirmations, I would definitely cancel it. In this case, it was a Affordable Care Act insurance plan, and they were able to complete that. There are cases that is a little bit harder. Let's just say your name doesn't match, your address doesn't match. You'd have to call Social Security to get that done. Or even, like I mentioned, they've been asking clients, oh, nothing matches. We want to verify and make sure. We're going to send you your access code in the mail. Snail mail takes such a long time. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And by then you wanted your Medicare application to be already sent in. So things like that I've been seeing. Medicaid, Medi-Cal in California, there's a lot of redeterminations. So either your social worker should have sent you mail to re-verify your income. Sometimes your income is actually more than the Medicaid limits, and you actually will be removed from Medicaid. That's been happening. Or even if you actually qualify for Medicaid and Medi-Cal and you don't provide proof, then what happens is that they're going to still take you off. So with that type of mail, I suggest making sure you actually read that, right? We get so much mail that sometimes it's too much and we just throw things away. But those are the things that you definitely want to make sure that you have and all. Those are the few things that I've been seeing lately. Next week, we will go over section 2, page 25, find out what Medicare covers. I've really communicated this a lot, but this Medicare New Handbook just really outlines it for us. Been enjoying our journey, and I look forward to talking about what Medicare covers. It is sometimes a complicated topic, right? So I look forward to it. You have a wonderful week. Once again, my name is Jennifer Lee with the Medicare 360 Show. If you have any questions, please call us. Get on our website, www.premier360solutions.com. Till next time, take care.